No, Neuvillette is not, never will be, and never was the Hydro Archon. But I can see why you would think that, so let's discuss. When Egeria gave the seat to focalors, her Oceanid familiar, she passed along the seat of Archon and the Hydronosis. Because you can be an Archon without a Gnosis. Nahida was always the Archon of Sumeru, even though she didn't possess the Gnosis. It was in the Academia. A didn't care about her Gnosis. She gave it to Yai and was the Archon for a long time. So you don't need the Gnosis, but the Gnosis is a symbol of power. And there are still Archons even though the Fatui have taken their Gnoses. And what furina and focalors do in the fontainearchonquest is really unique. Focalors splits herself in half. The person who remembers the divinity, the godhood, their time with Egeria, that person goes into the oratories. They lose their corporal form, much like Raiden lost her corporal form when she went into the plane of euthymia. But Raiden left a form which she could go back into. Focalors left her form to act in the role of Archon. And she left her form because Furina is basically human, because Focalors has taken all the divinity of this being of herself that she has split in half into the oratory. And so she explains it to Furina as you must play as a god, because Furina is a god, she is not an Archon. Not all gods are Archons, not all Archons are gods. Venti was a wisp of wind before he became an Archon. Mavukita was a human. But Furina and Focalors, during this plot, the whole point of this was Focalors wanted to destroy the seat of Hydro Archon. Archonhood is like a Celestia invention. And so what she wanted to do was return what Celestia had originally taken and turned into the seats of Archon. And that was the original elemental dragon's powers. Neuvillette is the elemental dragon of Hydro, and he lost his authority to the heavenly principles. Now, he wasn't the dragon that lost his authority, it was a different dragon, but he is their successor, much like Focalors and Furina were the successor to Egeria. And so the Gnosis being different from the seed of Archon, the Gnosis is the symbol from Celestia, the chess piece. The seed of Archon is what they stored the elemental sovereign's power in. So when Focalors destroys the seed, there will never be another Hydro Archon. Archon gone, no Archon seed. But what it did do was return the elemental authority that was stored in that seed, and that she needed all the power of the oratories and all the faith of the people of Fontaine to destroy. She returns it back to Neuvillette, the Hydro Dragon, and that is why he is able to forgive the sins of Fontaine and wipe away the curse that Celestia put on them, because Celestia doesn't have the authority of Hydro anymore. Neuvillette does.